Welcome into Texans Today, everybody. I'm your host, Jeremy Chuggs, and we got to get to the nitty-gritty. We got to talk about this Texans offensive line because yesterday, DeMeco Ryans said, and I quote, "Everything is on the table. We've got to get it fixed." Talking about the Texans offensive line. So, DeMeco, if everything's on the table, let's put it out there on the table. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about every single option this Texans team has to fix this offensive line. That's what I'm going to be breaking down on today's show. Every possibility the Texans have to fix this problem, to fix this issue, I'm going to be talking about on today's show. And if you think it's an issue, if you think the Texans offensive line needs to get fixed, if you think everything truly should be on the table, share today's video. Share this video, hit the share button, share it to Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Facebook, Instagram, send it in a group message, send it to your grandma in an email. However you want to share this video, spread the word because this is a problem that we got to get fixed. These 5 guys right here on this Texans offensive line, something needs to change. Something needs to happen because if I have to watch another Texans game where CJ Stroud is running for his life all game long and Joe Mixon's getting hit in the backfield on 70% of run plays, I'm going to lose my freaking mind. So first, let's talk about the in-team options. Guys that the Texans already have on the team, obviously. Jarrett Patterson, he started that one game up against the Bears, and I know a lot of people are calling for Jarrett Patterson to start over Juice Scruggs, but I'm going to break it to you right here. I didn't love what I saw out of Jarrett Patterson in that Bears game. That game that he started, I thought they were picking on him. I thought they were doing a lot of stunts around him. Now, maybe it's because his guards on either side of him aren't playing very good this year, but Jarrett Patterson is one option. If you really can't play Juice Scruggs, if he's playing that bad, you have him waiting in the wings. Another guy who has gotten some playing time, but at fullback this season, Kendrick Green. The Texans were able to pick him up last year from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Played okay before a season-ending injury last season. Could he step in at left guard for Kenyon Green? Kind of swap Green for Green or Shaq Mason. I don't know. Might be on the hot seat as well. And then he's seen a lot of playing time as well. The rookie, the second-round pick out of Notre Dame, Blake Fisher. He could be an option. Maybe at right tackle. Titus Howard didn't have a great game up against the Green Bay Packers. Blake Fisher has proven that he can be a swing tackle, play both left and on the right side. So that could be an option on this team. But it's probably not why you clicked into the video. You didn't click in the video for me to tell you who's on the Texans depth chart and the guys that are already on the team. You want to know if the Texans can add somebody else. So I'm going to ask you this question. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's video. So if you get hit with the YouTube ad break, perfect timing. Let me know. Do the Texans need to sign or trade for an offensive lineman? Give me a yes. Give me a no down in the comment section. Like I said, get hit with the YouTube ad break, perfect timing. Go down and let your voice be heard. I think for the right price, the Texans should add somebody along this offensive line. If you don't feel comfortable with Kendrick Green, putting him in at guard, or Jarrett Patterson at center, I don't know if the Texans can roll into the later parts of this year, roll into the playoffs, and not have confidence on the interior of this offensive line. So let's first look at free agent options, because that might be the easier route because you don't have to work with another team. You can just go outright and sign these guys. Mason Cole started 17 games last season, 2 sacks allowed, has a ton of experience playing at the center position, has played a little bit of guard as well. This could be an option if the Texans want to sign somebody. If they don't like what they see out of Jarrett Patterson, Juice Scruggs continues to, regress this season, Mason Cole could be an option. Another option, Tyre Phillips, another guard, played 10 games last season with the G-Men, could be an option for the Texans at the guard spot there. 6'5", 330 pounds is a decent option if you're looking at somebody. Another guy, which I'm going to try this out maybe first time. Let's see if I do it. Halapoulivaati Vaitai. No. I'm going to call him, for the sake of this video, we're going to call him Vaitai. Halapoulivaati Vaitai, obviously a former Super Bowl champion with the Philadelphia Eagles, has spent a lot of time at guard, can also flex out to the tackle position. I actually not sure why. Maybe injuries has to do with it a little bit, but I think he's a decent option if you need somebody at this point in the year, especially if you're looking at a free agent option. And the last one I'll give you is Phil Haynes. Played 8 games last year, 5 sacks allowed. The numbers aren't pretty for Phil Haynes with the Seattle Seahawks, but that Seahawks offensive line was so-so last year. I don't know. Maybe you give him an option. Maybe you give him a tryout on the practice squad and see what he can bring to the table. Now, coming up, these are the guys that are more quick fixes, more guys who are more solid options, and that is the guys in the trade market. We'll look at the top Texans trade targets along the offensive line in just a moment. But I couldn't do today's show if it wasn't for our amazing sponsors over at Prize Picks. All you got to do is choose 2 or more players from any sport, choose more or less on their projected stat types, and then place your entry. And for my viewers today, I have a special deal. You download the Prize Picks app and use code CLNS. You get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app for good reason, because it's fun. It's an amazing app where you can turn your sports knowledge into cold, hard cash. I like to think I know ball a little bit. So I'm going to roll with this lineup, especially with the 2 guys who just got paid. They're already giving you a special promotion. Anthony Edwards, 0.5 points. Yeah, he's going to score a point in his first game tonight up against the Lakers. Alperen Sengun, I went points and rebounds because I think that's a little bit of a safer option with him being at the center position. 30.5 points and rebounds combined. I mean, the dude just got paid 5 years. What was it, 180? 5 years, 180 for Alperen? Yeah, give me the more on that. And Jalen Green, he just got paid a 3-year deal, 21 points. Yeah, I think he's going to be able to hit that as well. Use my picks or go against it. Just do it over at Prize Picks. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become part of the Prize Picks community today. Make sure to use that code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play $5. Once again, you don't even need to win. It's guaranteed. So Prize Picks, run your game. All right, first up, let's look at the trade targets, and we'll just roll through these pretty quickly just to kind of give you some options that the Texans have. First up, Wyatt Teller. And obviously for trade targets, you got to look at 2 things. One, is the team willing to sell? Are they willing to give up some of their assets, which I think the Browns are. They're in a bad spot. And also, is it worth it for the Texans to bring him in? Wyatt Teller, he's been on IR, but is eligible to come back this week as we near the trade deadline. Could be a good option. The 29-year-old guard for the Browns has been pretty good with his time in Cleveland this season. 3 games played, 1 sack allowed so far. Wyatt Teller, I think, maybe one of the better options on this list if the Texans are looking to trade for somebody. And yeah, the Texans and Browns, they've traded in the past, so maybe they have a little bit of a working relationship there. I do have to say this, though. I promise you, if the Texans make any move, if they make a trade, a signing, we'll break it down here on the channel. So subscribe for daily free videos here on Texans Today. It costs you nothing to hit that sub button. We're on our way to 20K. So if you love the Houston Texans, if you want more Texans content, I got you covered. Keep us locked in. Next option, Joel Bitonio, another player from the Cleveland Browns. Like I said, Browns might be sellers, so if they're not willing to give up Wyatt Teller, maybe they're willing to give up Joel Bitonio. I think this is a less likely option, even though, he might be a little bit older than Wyatt Teller. Teller coming off injury, I think might be a little bit more palatable for the Browns to let him go. But Bitonio would be a really good option as well if the Texans are looking at upgrading the guard position, which I think is the biggest need right now, is that left guard spot. Another guy who could be an option on a team that doesn't look like they're doing too hot right now, Dylan Parham of the Las Vegas Raiders. I think this would be a very intriguing option. And I know I said Wyatt Teller could be the best guy on this list. Dylan Parham is probably my favorite name on the list because I think he's really good. He's really young. And you're looking at a Raiders team that is 100% going to be looking to draft a quarterback next year. Now, what will you have to give up for a Parham? Hopefully nothing more than a 4th-round pick. But the Raiders are stockpiling. They're looking to add guys. They already traded Devontae Adams. They're not going to trade Max Crosby and bigger names like that. So maybe they trade a lesser name in Dylan Parham or maybe Andre James, their center. They extended him this offseason, and he's had a rough start. I'm not going to mince words with you. He has not looked at his A game this season for the Raiders starting at that center position. So I think the Texans could look at this as another option. Andre James has played center. He's played a little bit of guard as well. Could be another option for the Texans if they want to go out and add a name. And lastly, I'm going to give you Mike Onwenu of the New England Patriots. Now, I don't know if they're going to be sellers at the deadline, and I don't know if this makes a ton of sense for the Patriots because he's one of their best offensive linemen. and they have a rookie quarterback in Drake May. So I kind of just added this name in and it's like, I hope he's available. I don't think he will be with the New England Patriots. Like I said, they have a rookie quarterback, and he's their best offensive lineman. So you'll really be throwing Drake May to the Wolves if you do deal Mike Onwenu, but they're looking to get a little bit younger. Obviously, they have a young quarterback that kind of resets their cycle of when they're going to try to compete in the AFC. It's going to be a couple years down the road, so maybe they want to add younger. Maybe they want to go younger, add some guys through the draft this season. Could be an option to look at as we inch near the NFL trade deadline, which, reminder, November 5th. Nothing else special going on during that day but the NFL trade deadline. So we'll keep you locked in here on Texans Today. Follow me on Twitter at Jeremy Chuggs for the latest Texans news and rumors, the dankest memes on the internet. And once again, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you share today's video because I want some change.